The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. The inaugural season of the TNR Master Millwright Big Block Series comes to its final few races. We've been to Volusia, Lanier, Knoxville, Eldora, and many more tracks. We've seen many winners, much drama, and some great racing. Tonight we look for more of that to happen on race number 10 out of the 15 race schedule here on PTRTV, and we're happy to have you along for the ride. Welcome everyone here again to Fairbury Speedway, the quarter mile in Illinois, for tonight's coverage. Of course, giving you the calls is myself, Corey Silva, giving you the calls, and I'll be doing the single man show and putting on the images that you see here tonight. Qualifying is now underway right here, so these guys are getting ready for their hot laps to set the grid for the heat sessions. Of course, we have our 10-lap heat set will lead us into our 35-lap feature event here tonight. Tonight's race sponsored by Master Millwright. Of course, they are the presenting sponsor of the series, but also the sponsor of tonight's race. So, of course, shout out goes to them. As I kind of said in our YouTube chat prior to the race here, that this is the biggest grid I think we've had so far this season. 17 on the lineup here for one of the shorter tracks of the schedule. Of course, you know, we have been to Lanier. We've been to Eldora. We've been to Knoxville, a couple of those other larger tracks in Volusia, the half-milers. You know, there's mid-sized tracks such as the Port Royal Cedar Lakes, Weedsport, but here, quarter mile, back to the bull ring. Haven't been to a bull ring since Kokomo about 4 races ago, and of course, a lot of cars on a small track. I mean, put 2 and 2 together, we know what comes out of that as Carter Rodchinski on track right now. Bobby Trapper top of the board right now with a lap time of 12.578 seconds. Currently has about 0.02 of a second over Zach Weisenflew here. Still waiting for, I think it's just Carter. Hasn't turned a lap yet. Brady Cornett back in 7th there. Now, it's surprising to say this. He hasn't won a race in almost 3 weeks, guys. I mean, talking about the season Brady Cornett has had, of course, in the series, I do have the updated points finally. Thanks to admin for taking care of that. Cornett with the 4 wins on the season, currently up by 35 over Weisenflew, but Weisenflew there in the 2nd spot. Cornett has to have a really good heat or he's going to be into Hornets Nest, and that's been his problem so far. Of course, we have the inverts. Top 4 in each heat have to start at the back of the feature, which with a slightly larger field will prove even that much more difficult. So I got to have that good heat and evade any kind of issues of that sort. But Bobby Trapper currently going for the 3-peat here, winning at Cedar Lake and Weedsport, seeing if he can get the turkey and get his 3rd win in a row. That's something that even Brady Cornett didn't manage to pull off here this season. But some guys, Weisenflew has been on the cusp so many times this season. Second. Just cannot get that W. So definitely gonna have to watch out for him. Of course, Mike Brewer, the only other winner on the season. He is always one to watch, currently qualifying in the 4th spot, but that is the end of the qualifying session. So we're gonna head down trackside and get you the starting lineup for heat race number 1. I believe we'll still have 2 of them, but well, actually we may even have a 3rd, but let's get the starting lineup for heat race number 1. Points leader Brady Cornett on the front row of this one, with Mike Brewer to the outside of the front row. Bobby Trapper, our last race winner, going for the 3-peat in 3rd. League admin Jason Freeman in 4th, and then Eric Bonham and Kyle Rochinski 5th and 6th. Kyle Rochinski, always one to watch out for, kind of a sleeper pick. Has been up there, has good runs, always manages to find himself in some kind of trouble though. But then again, that is kind of something that happens quite often in the series. Our features have been a little bit sloppy, I think everyone will kind of admit to that, but it has created a good comers and goers situation. Guys really have to utilize that fast repair in a very intelligent manner, and just kind of use their heads in the traffic, which will be very prominent here this evening. See our weather conditions here. They've been very cold in the races thus far this season, and track temp 57, so definitely still the case here at Fairbury. Quite a gap being left to the pace truck, I believe. I'm trying to remember here because I haven't raced this track quite some time. I think we have the internal pits here, so pace truck will pull. Yes, we do. Pace truck will pull awkwardly to the infield here. This track was built just before iRacing started doing exterior pits, so kind of have that hodgepodge pits in the center of the circuit. But getting ready for the start of the festivities here tonight. TNR Master Millwright Big Block Series from Fairbury. Put your picks in chat and let's get ready for a night of fun. On the loud pedal is Cornett. Left front's in the air, getting ready to go. You can see the 2X on his car. He's going to try to evade it here. Hopefully doesn't have too many of those, but entering corner number 1 all the way up against the fence right from the get-go here. Cornett's going to get a good lead of about a car length or 2 over Mike Brewer, who's going to be, everyone's pretty much going to be rim riding the fence here. I think we're going to need that track to wear in and open up some different lanes, because thus far everyone using that banking on the top of the racetrack, you can kind of see kind of the bowl effect here that this place does have. And that extra banking up top will definitely keep these big heavy cars built up with that momentum. Brewer trying a different line there. Just not gonna work, at least this early in the race, because it's really gonna need that top to slick it off. As I think the only battle we have on track back in the field here is Bonham and Rochinski. Rochinski gonna right rear slap the fence there. That's gonna let Bonham go by for that 5th spot. Freeman, little contact to the wall there. There goes Brewer trying to do a slider down low, but even the slider line not really working thus far this evening. So that's gonna make passing a lot more difficult. And these guys are really going to have to fight for everything that they can get here this evening. That was a right rear tap into the fence for Cornett. That's going to open the door for Brewer to the bottom there, especially off 4 with that opening on the wall. Got to be really careful with that wall line. Now Brewer was to the bottom of the track. Trapper fills in the gap. He's going to go for the top. Brewer is going to have some problems in the center of the corner there. That's going to cause a little bit of a check up there. Freeman had to back off in reaction to that, but all the while, Cornett's going to pull up by about 0.8 of a second now. Trapper sole possession of 2nd right now. Trapper's gonna hit the fence now. Turnaround is fair play. Brewer's gonna go to the bottom of the track. These guys are gonna be side by side as Cornett is gonna go off a 4, take the white flag. A little bit of contact with Freeman to the back bumper of Brewer there. Trapper will survive from that wall contact. Now let's see if Freeman does anything here in 3. He's going to dive all the way to the bottom, see if anything happens off that. Nothing will, but Cornett is going to get your heat win. Again, interesting how the track is racing thus far. We did see guys in practice kind of experimenting with lines, but thus far that top is kind of OP, as I think the kids say these days, overpowering. And these guys will have to wear that in, so that way the moisture from the bottom will be beneficial. But let's get ready for heat race number 2. Starting lineup on the left side of your display. It's going to be as such. Jeff Kendrick newcomer to the series, if memory does serve, because I've never heard of the name before. Scott Rayholm in second, again newcomer as well. Zach Wisen flew in third, Brian Rubel in fourth, Bobby Puckett and Carter Rochinski going to be the fifth and sixth place. I think for the first time this season, we're going to have the three-peat, and I think we're going to have the 3 heats for the first time this season. So it'll be interesting to see how that fares out. Again, there'll be more guys inverted. Of course, though, I know that on the Discord a few weeks ago there was some chat about heat sandbagging. I don't know if that's still been an issue or not, but we'll see how it all does shake out here as the sedan here. I don't know if the pace truck had some maintenance being done to it, driving the sedan on the dirt here this week at Fairbury. But Jeff Kendrick in the 62 going to be in sole command. Going to go a little bit later there on the straightaway. He'll get on the loud pedal there. That'll keep everyone bunched together. The 4 of Rayholm's going to go to the outside. He's going to get pancaked into the wall. Weisenflu's going to look to the inside. There goes Rubel running all the way on the tire line to the bottom of the track. I don't know how well that's going to work. Haven't seen it be successful yet, but he's going to stay dedicated to it. You can see he gets the run through the center, but has no drive off. That's going to give the 4 of Rayholm the opportunity to go back to the high side, but 62 of Kendrick has the lead. Weisenflu's going to go for the slider line and just doesn't seem to have the opportunity to work. You can see the entry of 3 starting to slick it off. That's what we're going to need to get this side-by-side racing working a little bit better, as Rubel, again, rocking the bottom of the track. Bobby Puckett to the outside. Puckett's going to try to get that 4th spot, move Rubel back down to 5th there. Rayholm trying to do the slider on Weisenflu. Weisenflu gets pile driven there because he had nowhere to go. It's dirty sliders. I mean, it's kind of what you have to do here. No other real way to pass there. But Puckett's going to be the outside of the track. Rubel really trying to rock that bottom groove. He's been doing it every single lap. You can see, obviously you get the speed through the center, because you're running the shorter distance, but you just have no drive off, at least while the top still has all that grip. But while all that madness has been occurring, Jeff Kendrick has pulled himself out to about 3/4 of a second, nearly even a second over Scott Rayholm. Puckett in third, Wisen flew back to 4th. Again, after that slider really caused him to stack up. Now he's going to have to get back around Puckett here. A little bit of contact there on the entry of 3. You can see they're kind of running down the track a little bit. Shocked that Weisenflu didn't try to ride the fence there. And you can see him kind of right rear slap the fence there. Kind of gets the car set. And kind of some side dooring action there on the entry of 3. He's trying to get whatever bite he can off the bottom. There's not much to be on offer there. It doesn't look like Puckett got off of 2 that well. May give Weisenflu a chance. He'll actually be able to do the slider. 41's going to try to do the crossover move, but is there going to be enough mustard on exit? He's actually going to be able to complete the crossover move. And all the while, that race just quickly ended as we were watching that. Kendrick with the win easily over Rayholm, and Weisenflu does get credit with the 3rd there. Laps tick away so quickly here in this short of a race that I just did not even notice that. But here we come for heat race number 3. For the first time this season we got to use those words. And we are going to have Dean Reynolds on the front row. We're going to have Steven Brissett in 2nd and Speedy Brissett in 3rd. Ed Brissett in 4th. So automatically I am going to royally screw up this, having 3 of the same name in the same heat race. Travis Brockner going to be in 5th. And of course the race control car does not count. So let's try to figure out how we're going to effectively call this, Corey, because we're just going to have to go by numbers, because if I say Brissett, we're not going to know which one we're talking about here. So we're just going to have to call numbers, because that's just really the only way this is going to work out. Unless Stevie, Speedy, Steven, and Ed. All right, we'll get this down, and we don't have a choice because the race is about to start. But Dean Reynolds on the 79, he is going to be the leader, and it looks like the 59 is Steven Brissett. A little bit antsy there, kind of first took a budge on the pace car. Now if memory does serve, the track does reset slightly for the feature, which in this instance I don't think these guys are going to be happy with, because we really need this place to slicken off to open up these grooves. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of single line around the fence and dirty sliders and pancaking each other, which we don't necessarily want to see, but hopefully things do change and lanes do open up here. But Reynolds will be in command. We saw last session the leader went very late. Looks like he's going to go off of 4 there, does Reynolds. Green flag's going to be in the air straight to the top of the track. 59 of Steven Brissett, he's going to be on the outside of the track with Speedy to the inside. You can just see can't quite get the mustard down, can't get the accelerator and the power down. Going to fall back there, and then Ed and Travis Brockner going to round out the field of 5 drivers in this heat session. So very tame thus far compared to what we saw last time, but we'll see if Dean Reynolds can hang on. Steven and Speedy going to go fight for that second spot. Speedy going to go down to the inside and just try to experiment with what line may or may not work. And so far it is kind of ring around the fence, but you can kind of see that it is starting to slicken off just a little bit, and that does make it a little bit harder. And the harder it is to run that line, the more that you're going to want to experiment, because if there's only a sliver of space to avoid the fence, the risk to run that line may not be worth the speed that it could prevail. So we'll see what happens there, but currently 59 still holding on to the spot. 03 trying to figure out what to do. Reynolds up by 3/4 of a second here, already over halfway in this feature, this third heat session. Of course, we'll be advancing into our 35 lap feature event. Currently Ed Brissett being 5th right now would currently stay put, but everybody else, Travis Brockner, would have a very good starting spot if he does finish in that position here. Currently 3 laps to go. Reynolds pulled away by now over a second over this Brissett battle here. Let's see 03 trying to run just a skosh lower and trying to see if something can happen from that. And now he's going to go all the way down and run the tire line, and see, even through the center, he didn't really get the bite he needed there that we saw the drivers even have. But I believe this is the white flag. Yep, this is the white flag. So Reynolds should take this one pretty handedly, and that he will. 03 tried to make a move on the bottom, just no momentum to do so. Steven will hold on over Speedy, Brockner, and Brissett. Going to be our top 5 in, well, our only 5 for that. So now we're going to transition back over, and we're going to go ahead and give you the feature starting lineup here from the Fairbury American Legion Speedway Falls, as the full name of this speedway is. Looks like Speedy Brissett is going to be the front row and the pole sitter for this, with Zach Weisenflew in second. That's going to be big. Maybe this will be the first win of the season for him. Mike Brewer, the other winner on the season, in 3rd. Steven Brissett in 4th. Scott Rayholm in 5th. Bobby Trapper trying to go for the 3-peat. He's going to have to do it from 6th. Dean Reynolds in 7th. Jeff Kendrick in 8th. Brady Cornett in 9th. And then rounding out our top 10 is Lee Gadman, Jason Freeman here. Fireworks going off there off of turn number 4. Bobby Puckett in 11th, Travis Proctor in 12th, Kyle Rochinski in 13th, Brian Rubel in 14th, Ed Brissett and Eric Bonham and Carter Rochinski rounding out our field of drivers here this evening. And based on what we have been seeing thus far, top is going to be dominant. Doesn't look like, I'll try to see here, based on what we saw, if the track was reset. I do believe it was, as I kind of foresaw. You can see, especially on the entry of 3, that's where we saw the biggest slick. Actually, yeah, it's a little bit slick, but I definitely think it was grazed down and watered a little bit. So these guys, luckily with more cars, should happen. But again, a 35 lap race on a quarter mile is going to go rather quickly, so let's see what's going to happen. But Speedy's going to get himself on the loud pedal at the green, but look at Weisenflew there. He got the power down a lot smoother and a lot more efficiently. He's going to go ring around the top, take the lead off the get-go here. Again, he's going for the kill, waiting for that first win of the season, not taking any chances here. Now the stack-up's going to be 2nd place. Steven Brissett in that 2nd spot. Trapper going from 6th to 3rd in one lap. He's rocking the fence there. All the way to the bottom is Speedy, but the name is not dictating the actuality right now as he's getting passed by many a drivers. Mike Brewer going to go to the top. Ray Ohm just behind, so it's almost like a kind of reminiscent of a NASCAR plate race. When you don't have the draft, you get set to the back. When you're out of the line, basically you just get Conga line as everyone fills the gap in. Ray Ohm's going to get into the back bumper of Speedy there, but Speedy's going to finally get himself back in line. Ray Ohm going to look to the bottom of the track to no avail, but there goes a 62 of Jeff Kendrick doing the Tony Hawk wall ride there. He's currently back to the 10th spot. That's Dean Reynolds, the heat winner, down to the bottom of the track. Kendrick, and whoa, Kendrick off the bumper, I believe, with Freeman, does the acrobatics on his roof. That'll be the first caution. Let's go back on replay, check out what happened there from the blimp cam if we can. Top left of your screen, Freeman in that black and yellow car. 62, slow off of 2 there. A little bit of right rear into the tire opening there. And unfortunately, the acrobatics there from Kendrick. And he will have to tow and head back to the pits. You do get the fast repair. Currently, timing is always slightly skewed under cautions with our DNC cautions. But based on what we are seeing, he's being shown 2 laps down. We'll see if that sticks once the timing does go back to normal upon the feature, upon the green flag rather. But lights already out on the pace truck here, or pace car rather. Good double file restarts. Looks like these guys do have lane choice. We've seen it enacted many times. Weiseflew surprisingly choosing the bottom of the racetrack, but maybe he'll be preparing for that line on exit of 4. He will. Green flag back in the air again. Everyone just all over the track here trying to get sorted. You can see from the blimp cam here, get pretty much a whole shot of the racetrack here. We see carnage there in the back. That's Scott Ray Ohm there having some problems. Let's go back on replay as our second caution of the event waves its head. See on screen here, a little bit of contact between Cornette and that opening there in 3, definitely rearing its ugly head and getting these guys caught up. Well, back to live action here. Well, we'll kind of go on board here. Well, Freeman, because he's coming off of 2. That's where the problems have arisen there. You can see the entry of 3 there. That's where the track opens up for where you'd exit the track normally for the pits. Of course, we don't do that here in this version of iRacing, but that's where you normally do it IRL, and that opening is just being very problematic here, and thought we were going to have the green flag there. I think the caution was delayed another lap. Of course, you know, even two lap cautions on this small of a track can be very difficult to get everybody where they need to be, so sometimes you do have to delay that caution just by a little bit. But here comes Weiseflew to get him on the loud pedal again, but Trapper there tried to time it, nearly did so successfully. Weiseflew caught onto it. A little bit of contact, it looks like, between the 59 and Trapper there. Puckett, look at him coming out here to play. He's going to the bottom of the 59. That's Mike Brewer running the tire line all the way on the bottom of the track. He's very well known for that many races this season, but I just don't think the grip's going to be down there. And here they are off of 2:03. He's going to go around. That's a Speedy Brissett, or I thought he went around there. Oh, there's the caution. Kind of a delayed caution there, but comes out nonetheless, and definitely getting a little clustery here at the racetrack. 59:03. Looks like Rochinski may have been the one that really sent him around there, but then we saw Ray Ohm and Eric Bonham there kind of piling into it. Bonham, I don't know what that little maneuver was, but again, it's very difficult here. Everyone knows that these restarts, and this is just kind of a common situation on racetracks that are, to an extent, one groove, which we more or less are right now. When guys know the track is one lane, they try to get everything that they can get on the restart, because they know that's the best place to pass. Once after 3 or 4 laps, everyone gets strung out running the top. It's going to be, exponentially more difficult to get a pass made on the bottom. So everyone's trying so hard on these restarts, but unfortunately in doing so, we're getting wadded up here and can't get any laps in. But we'll see how it does fare. It does look like Ed Brissett and Eric Bonham have both retired from the race this evening, so that'll leave us 15 drivers still on track, all of which, 14 of which on the lead lap. Jeff Kendrick still being shown 2 laps down here, but we'll try one more time. Trapper to the outside, got an amazing run last time on Weisenfluh, almost pulled off the upset on the restart there, but Weisenfluh get on that loud pedal, is going to shut the door on Trapper. Trapper's going to just go immediately to the bottom of the track, but that's going to almost be a mistake, but he's going to be able to fill the gap and go up top. Looks like all the way to the bottom, Kyle Rochinski, Bobby Puckett in the middle of the track, 03, Speedy Brissett, who has Mike Brewer just behind him. Brewer running the top of the track. That's not something he likes to do, but you got to do it in a race like this, trying to get that inside lane clear to Kyle Rochinski running all the way down there on the tire line. Seems like the top is starting to wear out just a little bit, but I think there's still enough of a cushion up there on the top that these guys are struggling to make the bottom work. But you can see all the way to the bottom there, Rochinski actually made a little time up, actually managed to clear Travis Brockner on the inside lane, and Brockner just murdered the fence and is upside down off of 4. Back to replay here. See what happened. You can see good clean slider there by the 21, clears him, and then Brockner just, I don't know what, he just completely overshot his marks there, just absolutely just pile drove into the fence there in 3. I don't know if he was expecting it to bite, expecting the cushion to save him or something, but it just did not do so, and did the acrobatics upside down, but luckily for him he landed it. But some good signs there, because that was about 2 or 3 drivers who were able to actually use the slider line and make a pass. We saw in the heat, we saw a successful crossover move, which caused some good racing there in the heat. And it does show that the track is starting to wear out. Lanes are opening up, which will facilitate these passes and make us have some good racing for these last 20 laps. But currently caution count, we'll see what that is on the next one. If there is a next one, I want to say we're at 4 right now if memory serves, but either way, let's try it again. Weisenfluh on the loud pedal, left front's in the air, that means we're go, 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 but Trapper, he timed that restart like a boss, held the outside lane. Weisenfluh cut the lane off there when Trapper had it. Trapper gets into the wall hard, and that wasn't the caution. I think I'm trying to figure out what the actual caution was there. We'll have to watch that from the blimp cam there. But we have to focus on the actual beginnings of that wreck. Let's go back here, just trying to get a better look at it here. Replay on screen. We'll do it from our chopper cam following Trapper there. You can see 24 did not clear him, but entering the corner there, Weisenfluh slides right up in front of him. That causes Trapper to go up on his roof here. And the actual caution, I think, was Rayom and Carter Rochinski spinning around there. I think Rubel may have had a little bit of play in that. But it all stemmed from the checkup that caused from Weisenfluh pulling that slider, which it's hard. I can't really call the slider a bad move, but it's just kind of nature of the game here. But we're going to stack it up and do it again. Already on 1 to go. Be interesting to see what Trapper's car is driving like, if there's any suspension damage. But because we reset the starting lineup, he's still in second, and we're doing it again. Green flag back in the air. Weisenfluh on the bottom of the track. Trapper still has the momentum on the top, and he can't clear. Is he going to do the same move? I think he's going to be a little bit more mindful as Weisenfluh there, and allowing Trapper to keep that lane that he does have position in. Trapper's going to use that banking, and there he's going to go wrap it around the outside. Weisenfluh stuck to the bottom of the track. He's going to have to watch out because Speedy and Brewer there, 3rd and 4th, hot on their tails. But That's Brewer there pounding the fence off of 4, but he's still going to retain that 3rd spot as Bobby Puckett getting passed by Kyle Rochinski, who's rocking that bottom of the racetrack pretty well there. But Speedy really doing a good job trying to get by Wiseflew on the inside here. Looks like these guys really starting to deviate from the top of the track, which is good to see. Puckett's still using it as the caution will fly again, and Freeman on his roof. See what happens here to Freeman. See, off of 2, looks like he just kind of got into the fence by himself and kind of shades of Richard Petty at Daytona. Just the barrel roll down the straightaway to get a better look at it. He just got, kind of got into the fence and just barrel roll along the fence there, so was not able to stick the landing. Not sure if anybody helped him by, but he's going to go in the pit to get that fast repair. I'm not sure if he's still being shown on the lead lap or not, but either way, interesting that, again, I'm pretty sure I'm almost positive these guys have lane choice. I'm very interested how/why, if that's the case, that Wiseflew chose the top of the track so many times here, but rather the bottom, because that just gave Trapper the lead here as we are currently for our race analysis here. Oh, that is the wrong screen. I always get recap and analysis incorrect. I always flip-flop, and there's 6 cautions here. Trapper chooses the top of the track, and we're already back underway, and look at the run he gets. Again, that's what Wiseflew could have chose, but kept choosing that bottom, and it cost him the lead, and he's going to really have to fight with everything he has to get it back if he's going to be able to. Trapper going for that 3-peat there, but Speedy trying to get the run there, but another caution flag, and signs point to it being the 020. We'll go back on replay and validate if that is indeed correct. See Rochinski down to the bottom of the racetrack. Puckett just in front. Contact from Rubel to the back of Carter there. And that'll put us around for a 7th time. Guys getting assembled here, and lap number 20. So this race is it is chugging by here. Obviously it's a little bit slowed down here by all these cautions, but it is chugging by, and these cautions just are so quick. Pace truck is already, pace car, force of habit there. Pace car is already in, so getting ready to try this once more. I think we're back to single file there. I can't tell if we're single file or not. It is completely skewed up what we got going on right here. Wiseflew, there we go, and now we're getting doubled up here. Wiseflew to the bottom of the track. Slightly confused what we have going on here. There we go, finally getting the green flag in the air. Wiseflew stayed with him very well to the inside. I don't know if he's going to try to slide on him, but no, there's just not enough bite. Trapper, even though the Trapper is so good at that, even with the top slickens off, if there's an inch of space on the top of the track that's available to use, Trapper manages to pull it off without making a mistake. Lap after lap, he's able to do it when other guys aren't. But Wiseflew, look at him using that bottom of the track. That's probably the best the bottom has worked all race long. And it's coming in with about 10 laps to go all the way on the tire line. Brewer, though, is going to try to spoil the party at the bottom. He's going to try to get that top working and fill the gap in and go to 2nd place by default as Wiseflew slow rolling that bottom. But there goes Brewer. He is technically being scored in 2nd right now, and I just don't think the bottom has enough, but Wiseflew has nothing else he can do, and we're back under caution. I'm trying to see what it was. Nothing immediately stands out to me, at least on the replay. Oh, there it is. Take a look at it from our blimp cam there. Off of 2, that's Kyle Rochinski stacked up, Dean Reynolds, Carter Rochinski, just a big stack up there off of 4, and cars going all around in different directions. So Trapper, again, using that top successfully, but it seems like that bottom is starting to come in. Wiseflew starting to figure out a rhythm down there. But I think it may just not be enough, but you know, he's going to keep at it. Back to the top of the racetrack is Trapper as the control vehicle for this restart, with Wise and Flew down to the inside here, closing in on our 10 lap to go. On the loud pedal is Trapper, and he got on the loud pedal through the slick there, so he didn't get the acceleration down as he would like to. That gave Wise and Flew a good run off the bottom there and a good opportunity. I don't know how Wise and Flew is going to do it, because he doesn't want to make that same mistake he made last time, but he's going to have to take advantage of it. 03 checked up, and another caution flag. Maybe the 020 again. I'm not quite sure. He's the slowest on track. Looks like hitting in the 21. Had some follies going on. 21 of Kyle Rochinski. Contact there with Rubel into Carter. And Kyle Rochinski had nowhere to go on his lid there at the infamous pit entry there in turn number 3. That's going to be, I think, our 8th caution of the evening. Tell you, Wise and Flew probably had his best start. I know he's trying to be respectful after that move he made and does not want to make it again. I just don't see anything else he's going to be able to do. If he's going to want to take that lead, he's going to need one of those great restarts. And tell you, Trapper's having a little bit harder of a time through the slick, getting on the loud pedal there on the outside lane. But he's going to go super early there in the zone. Green flag once more. Wise and Flew didn't get the good run, so he's going to have a little bit more work on his hands to make it happen, but he's going to have to do the mega slider. I just don't see anything else that's going to work at this point in the race, and we're back under caution. Okay, we want to get this thing going, guys, but we're having some carnage here this evening. Take a look. Just a big pile up, 59, 41. Maybe we'll get one more look at that from a different camera if we can. So it looks like 41 a Puckett, Rayo, 41 into the 59, and that caused up Brockner and Rubel. 59 machine of Steven Brissett on his side there. So just kind of a stack up there. Again, that's kind of the name of the game, but that's what happens. We said it's the biggest field of the season on one of the shorter tracks on the schedule. You know, they don't get shorter than a quarter mile here on iRacing. That's what we have on the docket for this evening. Next week we will be heading to Williams Grove, so we'll get a little bit more space to work with there on the half miler. But let's see what happens. We're single file here for the final restarts of the race. Green flag in the air. Wise and Flew gets a look to the inside off the get-go here, but he's going to use that inside, try to slow roll it. He's not sliding it on in there quite yet, but he's going to keep doing it. Trapper very close to that pit entry there, but he knows how to run that finesse line up top, and he's holding on for the time being. Cornette, look at him sneaking into the top 3 as this thing comes down to a close. He's showing what he has, but just, again, super hard to pass here this evening, but all the while impressive that he's able to get himself back into that 3rd spot as it's going through the field here. You can see these guys slow rolling the track, but up front, I thought we actually had a battle for the lead, active battle. Wise and Flew may be side by side with him here to the inside of the track. He's being scored as the leader for brief moments in time. But can he get the power down enough to clear? I don't know, but he's getting so close to it. You can see that little bit of moisture to the inside. There's none of it on the top. Did he actually clear for the lead? I think if he can get a good run, he might clear him off of 4 here. Car to the inside, and will it throw out a caution? No, he's in the pits. But this is a complete change of the game here for Wise and Flew. He's the leader, and he has the lead, and the caution comes out. Travis Brockner in the pits along with Freeman. I think the caution may have been Brockner. Now this is going to be a very interesting situation here for the restart. What line is Zach going to choose here? Caution on the screen, or rather replay on the screen with Brockner. Just into the fence on the straightaway there, and then just completely screwed up the suspension, and that car was just crab walking it, and just kind of crab walked his day down the track. I'm shocked that kind of caused a caution, but maybe I think he was sideways while he was still registered on the speedway. That's what my assumption is anyways. But either way, great job by Wise. We're making that inside work. It came in not a lap too early. just towards the end of the race here, but we're single file. But can Trapper figure out that line in 3 laps? I don't know. He's been running it the whole race on the top. I don't know if he can figure that line out in 3 laps and if he can use it over and over. It took Weiser for a long time to get it built up, but green flag in the air coming to 3 laps to go. He's going to keep it down there. I thought he was going to run the top and run the conservative line, but no, he's going to keep it on the bottom of the track. And there goes Trapper trying to follow him down there and trying to figure out what's going to happen. I mean, at this point, what do you have to lose? Anybody trying to run the top there is Cornette. I mean, is he going to run the top? I mean, he has nothing to lose at this point. They're both slow rolling the bottom of the track, but I just don't think there's enough grip up top. Here we come, white flag, Weiser flew here. Much of a surprise to me, but he's going to come here off of 2, starting to pull away, slow roll from the bottom, slow rolling it to success. First win of the season, Zach Weiser, who finally gets his first race win. Great bit of driving. Trapper second, Cornette going to be in third. And, you know, post-race follies always go on. That's kind of what we have happen in this series. But just a great bit of driving there by Weisenflew there, pulling the upset. No, I don't even want to call it an upset, just a surprise win, because I just did not see that line coming in. And it just came, when it came in quick. And he used it here to his advantage. And let's get the race results on the screen here for us. Weisenflew with that win. He's going to get it by about a half a second. Ended up being the final tally here this evening. With Bobby Trapper in second, Brady Cornette on the podium in third, Mike Brewer the fourth, Speedy Brissett in fifth. We had Brian Rubel in 16, Reynolds in seventh, Kyle Rochinski, Scott Rayom, and Carter Rochinski rounding out our top 10. Final race results here: Freeman in 11th, Brockner 12th, Stephen Brissett 13th, Bobby Puckett in 14th, Eric Bonham, Jeff Kendrick, and Ed Brissett rounding out our race results here this evening. Let's go ahead and get the race winner's car on screen. We'll get the ticker on the top so you guys can see the overall race results. And we got him in the booth here. Zach, you finally did it, man. All those seconds, all that frustration, you finally pull it off and get it in victory circle here tonight. How do you feel, man?
I don't even know what to say. This is just, it's been about a long time. I've been waiting for this one. It's about time.
I mean, it was, I don't want to say it's a surprise. It's never a surprise, but I mean, based on what I saw in practice and the heats, I didn't think that bottom was going to come in. That top was super OP, and that bottom, you were working it, and it didn't seem like it was going to come in. And then around maybe lap 25, all of a sudden, that was where the speed was, and kind of caught Trapper off guard, and he couldn't figure it out in time. Just kind of talk about changing lines and getting that slow roll line to work.
Yeah, definitely the cautions helped out a lot, because you can really just take a look at the track, and with how the physics are in the game, you can really see it start to really get black. And if it went a lot longer, the top might have rubbered up, because that will happen at this place. But at a certain point after cautions, you just see that it's starting to slick off, and you have to be absolutely perfect and cannot touch that wall and keep that right rear right on that cushion and just hammer down, and you could be fast. But it's almost impossible to be spot on every single corner, so you just catfish the bottom and slow roller, and you can get the drive off of the good stuff.
Yeah, and then another thing I was looking at with you, man, is about midway through the race, once Trapper kind of got to second, you were leading. You still kept taking that inside. Trapper, once he got the lead, he was taking the outside. Even on those restarts, you were dedicated to that inside. Was it kind of just you knew you wanted to make it work, or did you just like the inside on those restarts?
I had a feeling that the bottom was going to come in. I just didn't know when it was going to come in, because if we had more green flag, it definitely would have been a game changer to see who could have made the bottom work first, you know, because the top definitely was dominant beginning of the race. For the first 20 to 30 laps, you could see that it was just, they had better pull coming off the corner. But on the restarts, if you can get that car to rotate and be straight coming off the corner and stay in the good stuff, you could definitely get a good pull.
Yeah, definitely the case, man. You pull it off, you get your first win of the season. Who do you want to give a shout out to here in Victory Lane?
As always, I got to thank you for broadcasting this, Rubel, Freeman, Garrett for being the admin, and really just TNR. Got to thank Brady for really bringing it up to the front again like he always does. He's always competition. Trapper for having a good race. I know we had our little incident in the beginning, but they called it a racing deal, which I think it was. You know, I figured he was going to cross over, but, you know, I can't thank these guys enough for putting on a good race. I know it's a tough track. It was small. We had a lot of guys this week, so see if we can keep doing it again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week at Williams Grove, and congrats again, man.
Thank you very much.
And now we have second place, Bobby Trapper. Bobby, it was an up and down race. You had the lead. You had that incident. We were on your side, and then it was just a matter of what line was going to prevail. And unfortunately for you, it was the bottom just a little bit too late. Just talk about your race, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gave a pretty good summary there. I mean, me and Zach were fortunate enough to get to the front earlier there and swapped it back a couple times. I got really lucky with that whole incident on the restart, and Zach was just a little faster on the bottom in the end there. It was a really good race between me and him.
Yeah, I know. I know. I always talk about you is whenever that top has like a foot of space that you have to nail, you always manage to nail it and stick it out of the fence, and you were able to do that. But just talk about the restarts. Obviously, he was starting on the bottom, but you kept starting on the top every single time, whether you were first or second. You were always on that top of the racetrack. What was it? Did you kind of have a thought that the bottom was going to work? Did you kind of know how to run it? Were you kind of prepared for it when that happened?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not too good at the bottom at most tracks, and especially here. I think Zach was definitely a lot smoother even at the end there. When I tried to stick with him on the bottom, I definitely couldn't, but kind of just got lucky in general. There was so many restarts with him starting on the bottom, me in the top, that eventually I was able to get a couple good starts on him there, which let me get around him at one point. But overall, he was definitely the faster, smoother guy when the track started fading away there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for you, you can't get the turkey. You didn't go 3 in a row, but 2 wins in a second in 3 races. I mean, hard to complain about that. Who do you want to give a shout out to, man?
I just got to thank Total Nonstop Racing and Master Millwright for putting the series on, and Rubel and Garrett and Jason, everyone else that runs it, and you guys for broadcasting it. I appreciate it. A lot of fun. All
right, sounds good, man. We'll catch you next week at Williams Grove.
Thank you.
And now we got third place, our points leader here, Brady Cornett. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. It wasn't one of your classic races. You weren't too great in qualifying, and that put you in the hornet's nest, which we know how that is. But even on a hard track to pass, you still managed to get your way back onto the podium. Let's kind of summarize your night.
No more inverts. We struggled qualifying. Qualified 6th, won our heat race, and started 9th and just couldn't pass. Had to throw a bunch of slaughter haymakers, and I found the bottom early on in the race and moved my way up to 3rd on the bottom, and I told Zach, just stick to the bottom. It's going to come in. I knew my car was too damaged to win the race, so once Zach just moved to the bottom, I was trying to race with Trapper to keep Trapper occupied where Zach could pull away and get the win. But oh no, it's a good night. Really, it's a good way to bounce back from Weechport. These small tracks with invert just kills you when it comes feature time.
Yeah, and I know you guys work together quite a bit, and you've been dominating so much, and he's been so close. What's it feel like to have a good buddy finally get his break and get it in victory circle tonight?
I'm stoked, man. He works his butt off to be competitive, and it's like the first couple weeks when I dominated, he got on every night with me, and we just went to work, practiced. It's just we're starting to get to the tracks on the schedule that nobody really runs a lot except for you. These are a bunch of the northern guys' tracks. They run these all the time. They have fun with them. But we're just gonna keep sticking it, keep grinding, and hopefully we'll find ourselves on top again, and in the points, and these final 4 races, maybe we can go 4 for 4.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Next week's going to be a track everyone knows at Willie G, so we'll see what happens there. But who do you want to give a shout out to for your podium, man?
Yes, sir. I just got to thank Blackjack Racing. Like I said, tremendous help to our program. Weisenflew, love him to death. He's fun to race with, and be in Discord and talk together. Just got to thank all my marketing partners on my real car, CMP Automotive, Dalrymple Realty, Circle of Friends Daycare, Bailey Farms, CNC Farms, Bailey Farms, J&C Auto Care, CMP Automotive, Freeman Plumbing, Capital Custom Paint, Summit Road Auto, Mr. Ricky Eschbaugh. Just got to thank you for broadcasting, Jason Freeman, Mike Rubel for putting on the lead, Garrett for doing the admin, and me and Zach were starting to get Brewer in there with us. He's a fun guy to talk to. It's got to thank him too.
All right, sounds like you got a little practice at that ad read there. Good job, man, and we'll talk to you next week, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys, so that is a broadcast here on PTRTV, the Master Millwright Big Block series here, brought to you by the TNR Racing Leagues, and congrats to Zach Weisenflu finally getting his first win of the season here. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not done so. Red Sox Racing League coming up on Thursday night at Watkins Glen. We'll be back next week on Tuesday with these guys at Willie G. Williams Grove for their round number 11 as their season comes to a close. And again, check out PrimetimeRacingTV.com if you're looking for any inquiries. Still looking to fill about 1 or 2 gaps here on the channel pertaining to getting some broadcasts here, so take a look at that. But that's Corey signing out of the booth here tonight. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.